My name is Suzanne Coates, and I worked at Turning Point for about 30 years. I started the sexual assault program, the forensic nurse examiner program, the prevention education program, and a lot of other services, as well as the new shelter. And worked there for 30 years, 10 years as the director of sexual assault services, and 20 years as the CEO. In the late part of 1980, I was raped in my home by someone who had broken in my home. And in the aftermath of this, I started looking for services. And because I really had never experienced this kind of intense feelings of panic that would just come out of nowhere. And so I needed to talk to somebody who'd been through it, who had survived it, who could give me that reassurance that, yeah, you'll make it through, and it took this or that. And I started looking around, and there was nothing in Macomb County at the time. I had heard of Turning Point, and I approached them, and they said, we don't have those services. They were struggling just with domestic violence and getting started. And I drifted away, and through this process started asking questions like, of course, why did this happen to me? How did this happen to me? Why does this happen? And then I ended with, why does this happen to anyone? And I circled back to Turning Point and met with some of their leadership and said, I can't believe that people have to go through this alone in this community, and let's get something started. I felt like I was ready to channel some of that grief and rage that I was feeling into something positive that would help others. And so we started working on it. I was sort of working as a volunteer, helping get resources, helping to get information, collecting data, because there was nothing. And started with a half-time person, later a full-time person that was later myself that was working for Turning Point and kind of playing all the hats, doing all this different kinds of work. We were all in the same shelter. We were doing sexual assault services, sheltering women, doing all this, I think, very critical work for this community. But we were also connected with each other. We didn't really know what we were doing. We were just learning from each other, trial and error, listening to survivors, and listening to other experts in other fields. And finally, I want to say that we started working on the Violence Against Women Act, which was going to look not just on what the healing of that individual, but look at how the systems were responding, and was that in a way a re-victimization, because we weren't using that opportunity to really address the needs of the victim, which were their legal rights, their medical needs, and their emotional needs. And we tried to make a program, a systems response that was going to address all of that. This program started to open. We, like I said, started with a very small grant from a STOP grant that was part of the Violence Against Women Act. And then from there started to fight for funding for this program, because we really were helping all the other systems. We were helping the medical system, we were actually helping the legal system, the criminal justice system, but we had to point that out. We had to advocate for those resources to do the good work that was happening, and to really set the course for healing for people who were at their lowest point, had felt that there was not, that there wasn't any help out there. To go from that to seeing this be the response of a community was really restorative to me. And so that's the story.